I loved Live Flesh. Phenomenal film. 1997. Pedro Almodóvar. Mwah, brilliant. It was so cool. It's an erotic thriller, and I love seeing Almodóvar work within the trappings of the erotic thriller. It's a melodrama, twisted soap opera. It's psychotic, it's psychosexual, it's beautiful. It's so good. Within Live Flesh, we see declarations of guilt given as declarations of love. There is a Spanish political undercurrent to the film, which feeds directly into the erotic thriller, which came to be so popular in the 80s and 90s due to fears of the AIDS crisis, due to a cultural fear of AIDS, a cultural fear of their own desires and where it could lead them. Almodovar's film is obsessed with the flesh, with the morbidities of the flesh, with the hang-ups of the flesh, the obsessions of the flesh, the deformities of the flesh, the handicaps of the flesh. What obsesses the flesh? What drives the flesh? The pleasure of the flesh, the smell of the flesh, the touch of the flesh, the sex of the flesh. Like it is such a it is such a devious film, the way that it centers around a completely psychopathic understanding of sexuality and the expression of sexual obsession, of melodrama. Almodovar's erotic thriller is possibly the greatest erotic thriller ever made. It, in some ways, seems to be a postmodern takedown of the genre, attacks the sensibilities of the erotic thriller, while at the same time, it expands the language of the erotic thriller. It also expands the filmic grammar of melodrama. The film stars Javier Bardem, and I thought he was amazing in this film. Humiliating, he was strong still. He was a role full of conflict. He was an extraordinarily conflicted character, but it was such a wonderful and perfect performance. I loved seeing him here. It's also Penelope Cruz's very first time working with Almodovar. Dies in the first couple minutes of the film, giving birth to Victor, who will be our anti-hero for the rest of the piece. Gives birth to him on a bus. First thing Victor sees is Madrid, and it's almost as if we are putting so much importance and significance on this strange little outcast child born on an empty bus, a child destined to be obsessed with love and with maternal figures, being the greatest lover ever after being so terribly insecure. Penelope Cruz was wonderful, and I love that she played Isabel. And I love that Isabel died after giving birth to the hero of the film, because in my own way, I like to view it as Penelope Cruz, in her very first film with Almodovar, is giving birth to the greatest period of Almodovar's work, which is the work that he did with Penelope Cruz. I think All About My Mother and Volver, Broken Embraces, I think these are some of his very best films. And also Live Flesh is one of his very best films, and underrated, underappreciated. I think it's a fascinating work. The way that it plays with the erotic thriller is just so delicious. Honestly, it's beautiful. I love our Almodovar melodramas. I love the idea that he's constantly circling around, whereas inauthenticity and performance is more lifelike than life itself. And the erotic thriller allows Almodovar to play with some of the most contrived psychosexual and violent tropes possible in a way that feels subversive, in a way that feels kind of exploratory. I thought Almodovar's composition was absolutely astonishing here. It's a film that's so fun to engage with, even though it can be incredibly disturbing. It's a film that owes a lot to soap opera storytelling mechanics, and it's addictive in the same way that any TV melodrama can be. It's a fabulous work of art, and I love that it is all kind of confined to the erotic thriller. I found it to be just such an enjoyable film. I'm so impressed by Live Flesh. It's a film that is obsessed with the insecurities of the flesh and with the sensations of the flesh, with the desires of the flesh. How our flesh is what truly drives us in ways that we have difficulty articulating. Our flesh is what drives us, what can drive us to insanity, what can drive us to love or to vengeance, to massacre, to slaughter, to great plot lines, to sordid, trashy narratives, to beautiful women. to paralysis. The flesh is what determines our motivations, our psychological hangups. Live Flesh is such a stylistic film. I was entirely captivated by the movie. I thought it was so entertaining. And I found so much here that was worth championing and praising. It's a masterpiece by Almodóvar, and it might be his most underrated, underappreciated, undervalued one. Live Flesh, in my opinion, is essential. I think it's the greatest erotic thriller that I ever saw. Puts all the others to shame. Almodóvar's erotic thriller was a postmodern whirlwind full of renegade ideas, beautiful people, and wicked, wicked twists and turns of a melodramatic narrative. It's the finest contribution I've seen within the erotic thriller genre that was so popular in the 80s and the 90s. Yeah, I loved the film. I love Almodóvar. He's my favorite guy. He's my favorite guy. Thank you so much for watching me.